Hey y'all, it's Jen. Welcome back. So I just got back from a vacation with my husband. We typically take about 2 weeks every year and do a road trip style vacation. Sometimes we, go somewhere like we went to the UK a few years ago, but a lot of times our vacations are in the car traveling around. So this year we went to Washington, D.C., and we also went to Nashville, Tennessee. We have friends that live there, and we were kind of touristy there too. But I wanted to keep everything all together in a planner. So, Happy Planner doesn't make anything like that. So I went on to Etsy to see if there were any printables or inserts that I could use. And there is a shop on Etsy called Accurate Thinker, all one word. She has all kinds of printable type stuff, but she had a whole travel planner style thing that you buy the download and you can print yourself. I didn't use all of the pages in there, but I used, several of them, and it really helped keep things straight for me. So I decided to make my own planner because I wanted to keep everything all together. So this is a big size Happy Notes. It was the indigo. I turned the thing around. Even though that's not a bad cover, I just wanted it to be a little bit different. So that's what it looks like. This is going to look a little bit scrapbooky, and I'm not a scrapbooker at all, but I did a few things that look scrapbooky. So we always call our vacations honeymoons. So I labeled this Honeymoon 2022 and put down here. Now, we weren't gone the whole time, but today is the 17th, and this is the day my husband goes back to work, and I go back to work tomorrow. So anyway, made a cute little cover there. This is actually one of the pages in the Happy Notes. I just kind of DIY'd it myself. It comes with different dividers in the Happy Notes, so I put down itinerary. Now this is one of the pages that Accurate Thinker has in this travel kit. It's a daily itinerary, and so I put down, you can number your days as to, day one or whatever. And so for each day we were gone, I made one of these. I put down things like where we were going to have meals, what things we needed to pack, where we were staying, that kind of stuff. And there's all kinds of space for you to be able to document, more specific things, even an outfit planner here at the bottom. I did not use this. I know some people are a little particular about what they wear when. I wasn't, so I didn't do that. Now highlights, sometimes I put stuff in here and sometimes I didn't. I did keep kind of a diary of sorts, and you'll see that later on. But anyway, so some details for day one. Okay, and then this is a page I made just to do some pre-planning, restaurant options when we were in Washington, D.C., that kind of thing. So I put some details down. This is also one of the pages from the Happy Notes that I just kind of customized myself. Also made a page of some of the things that we wanted to do when we were sightseeing. Kind of planned it out a little bit. It definitely didn't go this way. We changed things around quite a bit. Mainly because we thought we could get a lot more done in a day, and you can't when it's going to our nation's capital during the 4th of July. Everybody is there. It was so crowded. There's a lot. It was really hard to get around. We did take the metro everywhere. We stayed out near Chevy Chase, Maryland, right on the red line. So we were able to take the metro in to do things. But once you were actually there, like the National Mall, forget about it. It was super crowded every single day. We did not even venture to the mall on July the 4th because it was going to be a million times worse. So We kind of skipped a few things around there, and honestly, there were something we were only had 3 full days there, and there were some things we just did not get to this time. So, you know, we plan to take another trip there at some point down the road, maybe in a few years. But we're gonna plan for longer time just in Washington D.C. Plus, we're gonna go when it's cooler because it was hotter than Satan's behind there. It was bad. And you know, I live in Florida, so you know, you would think I'd be used to that stuff, but it was hot. Anyway, so here's some of the stuff we were gonna do. Kind of like made a sort of a plan. Some things we got to, some things we didn't. So day 2 of the itinerary, this is where we actually arrived in Washington D.C. Made a few notes about, you know, like $32 a day to park in their garage. It was a little bit crazy. The reason we stayed so far out of DC is because the self-parking, or the parking in closer to where we were going to do most of the things, was $65 to $70 a day. That was just a little bit out of our price range, so we kind of skipped that. Made some notes about where we ate, kind of gave a little bit of a timeline, you know, how much we paid for a hotel, some other notes here, and then printed out the page for the metro system. I have a better page later on in this, but you know, highlighted some things we wanted to do. We stayed here, and you know, this is one of the main places that we got off, that sort of thing. So just a little bit of an informational thing. And so each of these days are kind of the same. You know, I kind of made notes about what we did, what kind of timeline we were going to do. There's only one place that had a timed entry, and we ended up not doing that at all just because it was too crazy. So anyway, so that's what we did. We did get a hop on hop off bus, and I made some notes about what highlights were at what stops, that sort of thing. Anyway, so for every detail there, we did that. So, and then yeah, these pages all look the same basically. And so these are just all the itineraries of what we were doing. So we came home on the 11th there. I also made a section for reservations, for our hotel reservations, and I marked them on the side. When we do our road trips, we try not to drive more than 6 hours a day. So so we stopped in Florence, South Carolina, which is about halfway between here and DC. So I printed out all of our reservations and stuff, and then I printed out reservations for DC. Let's see, bought metro passes, so it was $30 for 3 days, a 3-day unlimited ticket, so $60 for the both of us. It's not bad. The bus tour that we did, confirmation for that. The timed entry pass for the Library of Congress, which we ended up not doing because of lack of time. Layout of the National Museum of American History, and then some other reservations that we made. So that was one section. And I kept this with me, so even though I had everything digital on my phone, I wanted to make sure that I had this. Okay, and then here's just a pocket folder to keep some additional things. Okay, so here's the part that I really worked on when I came home, and I like how this turned out. Like I said, I'm not a scrapbooker at all, but I do like the way this turned out. This is the memory section. So I did a little bit of a, on this first page I used a happy note page to do, and then after I laid all this out, I realized, you big dummy, you got a whole box of scrapbook paper over there, so why don't you use some of that? But anyway, made some notes. We stayed a couple of different places. We stayed in Florence, South Carolina, had a lot of traffic delays and rain showers on the way, but finally the second day we made it to our hotel. We stayed at the Embassy Suites in Chevy Chase, which was actually I don't think you can see it in this picture, but it's actually part of a mall. We could see the Cheesecake Factory from our window of our hotel. Now, even though this is in a mall, it's a dead mall pretty much. The only two things that were in there were the Cheesecake Factory and a CVS, and that was it. It's one of those malls that they're trying to revitalize, and it just hadn't happened. So, so of course, the first night we went to Cheesecake Factory there. Some information about the hotel. I'm a Hilton Honors member, so I definitely wanted to make sure that, you know, we stayed in at a Hilton, so that, or Hilton property, so that worked out well. Okay, and then this is what I made for the Metro. I took a printout of map and kind of colored it a little bit myself. This is where we stayed. We actually, our hotel was actually within the border of DC. I mean, when we crossed the street, we were technically in Maryland. But we could take the Metro in every day, and this stop, we would have to go. I'm a country girl, okay, so riding the Metro was kind of a foreign thing. I've only done it a couple other times in my life, so we had to figure out how to get from one place to another. So we would take the red line to the Metro Center, which this is basically where all of the lines meet, and then we knew to take the silver, like from the red line we took the silver line to get off at the Smithsonian National Mall stop right there. So but these are what the Smart Trip cards looked like. Pictures of us in the Metro. Like I said, I'm a country girl, so this is all new to me. That's my handsome husband, and he's cute. Okay, so, and I use scrapbook paper behind this, and I'm glad I did, because it's much sturdier that way. Okay, day 3, some of the places we went: the American History Museum, the Lincoln Memorial. He definitely wanted to make sure we went there. If we did nothing else, we went to the Washington Monument. There's me with my squinty eyes because I forgot my sunglasses. And then we had dinner at Maggiano's, which was just a walk from the hotel. Had a really nice time doing that. Day 4 was probably, for me, the highlight of the trip, because we went to Arlington. And this is really the only thing we did. July 4th, like I said, the National Mall was crazy, so we avoided that like everything. We did not go anywhere near there, but we took the Metro to Arlington. Saw lots of rows and rows of the white tombstones. Missed the actual changing of the guard, but I did get some photos of the sentry that was on guard there. It looks like that the Girl Scouts of Orange County, California had come to lay the wreath, which apparently you can make arrangements to, if you've got a group like that, you can make arrangements to lay your own wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown, which is a good thing to do. This was done, must have been done previously, because there was nobody doing that today. One of the highlights is, this is John F. Kennedy, the Eternal Flame. You can't see it very well, but it's right there. But JFK and Jackie and 2 of their children that passed away are buried here. One thing I did not know until I looked at this is they lost an infant earlier in 1963. So I think their baby was stillborn, I believe, in February of '63, and then President Kennedy assassinated November 22nd, 1963. So needless to say, 1963 was a bad year for Jackie. So, but she's still one of the classiest first ladies in history. So I admire her for her strength even more, knowing what she had already gone through earlier in that year. And then one of the other highlights that was kind of a bonus surprise, I had no idea that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was buried in Arlington. The reason that she was able to be buried there is because her husband, Martin David Ginsburg, was a first lieutenant in the Army. So he was able to be buried there. When she passed away last year, she was, or in late 2020, she was buried there also. So I did not know this because I'm not of the Jewish heritage, but one of the traditions within the Jewish heritage is that when you visit the gravesite of someone, you leave a stone to let them know you were there. But not only did people leave stones for Ruth, but they left feminist buttons, they left personal notes, that kind of stuff for her. So, and these grave sites get cleaned off, you know, sometimes once a week, sometimes daily. I would imagine that they probably come and clean Ruth's headstone of all of these things. I imagine they come do that more often than most, because a lot of people come to see her and pay respects to her. May her memory be a blessing. Not only did I, get to see the gravesite of a famous person, I also got to visit the gravesite, the resting place of my friend Gary. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Army, and his wife is a close friend of mine. He passed away suddenly in 2010 of a massive heart attack, and his wish, which he had made known prior, which I'm not sure, that must have been just something that they had discussed at some point, because he was kind of young when he passed away, really, that he wanted to be buried here for a couple of reasons. One thing because of his service, but the other because of the fact that he wanted a beautiful place for people to, if they want to come see him, that's great, but they want to make it a total experience for him. So anyway, he's interned right there, which I think is wonderful. And then also parents of a friend of mine are, actually interned very close to where Gary is. So I was able to pay respects to them as well. So this was probably the highlight for me, the highlight of the Washington, D.C. leg of the trip. So, all right. So day 5, we kind of laid low a little bit because the 2 previous days we did a lot of walking, a lot. So we kind of chilled out a little bit, but we decided we wanted to have a nice dinner to celebrate our anniversary. I have 2 anniversaries. I'll tell you about that at some other time. But we went to a place called Rare, which happened to be just a few blocks from the White House. So we had a nice dinner, took some pictures by the White House, that kind of thing. That was a good day. It was nice and low key, but we still enjoyed ourselves a lot. Okay, day 6 was the 12-hour travel day. So some of the places we went, I made sure that I packed plenty of planner type stuff. I didn't do any layouts or anything in the car, but I did, do a lot of writing in my journals and that kind of thing. So, but I wanted to make sure that if I had an urge to lay down some washi or something, that I had it all in my little kit here. So wanted to be prepared for everything. So anyway, just a little sample of where we went. Okay, day 7 is when we saw our friends. They live in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, which is just north of Nashville, about 20 minutes. So it's basically a kind of a small town bedroom community sort of thing. It's got a lot of farmland. There's a lot of Nashville artists that live in Goodlettsville, one of them being Garth and Trisha, who lived basically like 3 miles from my friends, but I didn't go stalk them or anything. I did look it up online, but I didn't go, just because I think that's kind of rude. I think that they should have their own kind of thing. So anyway, so we had a good time with them. Day 8 is the day that we went walking on Lower Broadway. That's where Garth's new store is. I bought a few things. Picture of me and Trisha. That's flat Trisha. That's not the real Trisha, unfortunately, but she's still gorgeous. Some pictures of some other things. This is Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, which is super famous for the live music there. It's pretty cool. The Owner's Tub Record Shop, where all of the greats have played. Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, everybody else in between, Hank Williams, all of those people have all played here. It's an actual record shop, but there's like an alley to the side that they were doing these live performances. I don't know if they do that as much now. It's probably more occasions, but anyway, this was a good day. It was kind of hot, so we didn't spend a lot of time outside, but we had a good time. Okay, day 9, we went to the Country Music Hall of Fame, which I've been to a couple of times already, but they changed the exhibits around so much that I wanted to go back again just in case I missed something. So the highlights of the trip were mainly for me was seeing. I always like to look at the. There's a whole display of song stuff dedicated to songwriters, because I'm kind of a songwriter myself, and so they have displayed some of the actual handwritten manuscripts from some of these writers. Like this is Chris Christopherson's "Help Me Make It Through the Night." They had one from Taylor Swift. They had a couple of others that I can't remember, but I always like to go there and look at it, and you can see their handwriting, of the the songwriter. You can see their handwriting, and how they changed ideas and that sort of thing. That whole process fascinates me, really. And of course there's some good displays. One of the reasons I wanted to go is because I'm a big Judd's fan as well, and Naomi passed away April 30th from mental illness, and I wanted to go see the Hall of Fame display. They usually, the inductees, they have a big Hall of Fame display for them, and some of the things, this was their Hall of Fame display. One of the things that caught my eye was, this is Naomi, her real name was Diana, her birth name was Diana, was a registered nurse, and so they put her stethoscope on display, and I thought that was super cool that they did that. This is basically how Naomi took care of Wyatt and Ashley, is making money as a nurse. Until Winona grew up enough to where they decided to go into music. So there's a couple of displays for the Judds. Got some guitar picks in the store that kind of made a cute little spread. I had some music washi that I used there. And then I did a whole page just for the Hall of Fame part. I was able to put in the brochure that you get. It's got all the Hall of Fame members in here, including the most recent class. Now, for some reason, they've got that the Judds were part of the 2021 class, but yet the induction ceremony didn't happen until May 2022. I'm thinking that's all COVID-driven kind of stuff. But anyway, walking in the rotunda where all of the Hall of Fame plaques are, that was really, really cool. Like I said, this is the 3rd time I've been to the museum, and every time you go, you just get the chills, because you just see all of these great names and that kind of thing. I was wondering when I went, this is the plaque for Naomi and Winona, and I was wondering if they were going to put her death date on there yet, and apparently they haven't gotten around to that. A lot of people complain that these likenesses don't look much like the artist, and I can see that to a certain degree, but like I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have known that was Reba unless they had Reba's name down here. I would have known these were the Jeds because Naomi looks like herself. Why? Not so much. Dolly looks like Dolly. I wish they had, honestly though, I wish they had done an older Dolly picture with different hair, because that's not my favorite hairstyle. And maybe they didn't because the artists that do this, maybe it was too much hair. I don't know. I don't know how they decide what images to do, but I took a picture of a few of the artists that I really like. I could have taken like a million more, but I kind of kept it down. But anyway, this is a really cool place, and I think every time I go to Nashville I would probably want to go here just to see the new exhibits and that sort of thing. So that was cool. And then I got some of the postcards in the gift shop, and I was going to glue them on here, and I thought, no, let me try something different. So I punched them and put them in like this, so you're able to look at the postcards. Now I kind of wish I had gotten a few more, because this is actually a cool way to do it. So there you have it. That is my travel / memory planner for my honeymoon 2022 with my husband. Hopefully this will give you some ideas. Again, the name of the Etsy shop that I got it from, and I gotta pull it out. The name of the Etsy shop that I used is called Accurate Thinker, all one word, Accurate Thinker, and she has a lot of other downloadable type things too. Some of the things I didn't show you in the travel download that I had were things like packing lists, what else? Packing lists, expense trackers, that kind of thing. I did start the expense tracker, but I thought, I'm on vacation, I don't want to track every little penny I spend. You know, I definitely would hate to see our Visa bills now, because we did put in a little money, but we had set the money aside to do it, so not too concerned about it. If my husband's not concerned, then I'm not either. Anyway, so that's it. Hope you like this video. Hopefully it gives you some ideas to do your own travel planner / memory keeping using a Happy Notes. Oh, by the way, the travel planner that I had, it came in A4, A5, B6, and house letter and letter. So when you buy the download, you get all of those sizes. So whatever size you want to make it, you can do that. I wanted to make it a big because of all of the other things I printed out that were big already, like our reservations and stuff. So I didn't want to have to cut pages down, that sort of thing. Anyway, that's it. If you like what you saw, if you'd hit the subscribe button, I'd appreciate it. Hit the notification bell so that you know when I make more videos. Share this with your friends. Hit the thumbs up to help my algorithm, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.